everyone. Today I'm back with the other summary business case. Today the title is New 7 the new 7-Eleven. So I think all of you guys know what is 7-Eleven. Yeah, 7-Eleven is the largest a world largest is the world largest convenience chain stores in convenience chain store. So to achieve the title of the largest convenience store in the world, 7-Eleven have to do some transformation. Under the leadership of Jim Case become Jim Case do the transformation. So Jim Case became the CEO of 7-Eleven in 2000, and he wanted to change the company and make it better. He started a program called Retailer Initiative, and the main idea in this program is to use technology and data to help stores and make better decisions. The company also wanted to improve the supply chain, products, customer service, and relationship with suppliers and franchise. At the time, 7-Eleven was already a very large convenience stores company. In 2003, 7-Eleven had 5,784 stores in the US and Canada and 19,501 international stores. And the company had a long history to achieve the title. So it started in 1927 as the Shortland Ice Company and changed into 7-Eleven in 1946. However, the company also had a financial problem in the past and filed for bankruptcy protection in 1990. So, one important change under leadership case was the supply chain system. So, under the leadership of Jim Case created a combined distribution center or CDC for 7-Eleven. CDC is the centers collect product from different suppliers and send them together to the stores. The company had 23 CDC in the US, and each center could serve up to 700 stores. This helped the company manage inventory and product distribution better. And technology was also very important things for 7-Eleven and for the store manager, because the store manager could use data to understand what the customer wanted and how the customer can order the product and check store performance with technology. The company could also test new product and see customer respond quickly. However, not all of the franchise used the new system in the same way. So this created a big challenge for the company because 7-Eleven wanted its stores to follow the new system. Another part of the transformation was product innovation. A typical store had around 3,000 SKU and 70% of the product were recommended by the head office, and while the 30 product 30% could be chosen by local manager. And 7-Eleven also created its own product, such as Slurpee. It's an example, and the company introduced many new products, but every product was successful. But not every product was successful. For example, Santiago beer had a problem with the taste and oxidation. 7-Eleven also had to deal with its suppliers. The example large suppliers such as Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and Budweiser were not fully comfortable with the new distribution system because they already had their own distribution networks. Smaller suppliers were more willing to use the CDC system. So supplier relationship because became one of the important challenge for Case. The company also faced change in its customer because in the past the many customer were male blue collar workers. Later, the customer became there is so many women that attend or that visit the 7-Eleven. So 7-Eleven continues selling traditional product but also add some fresh and healthier product. Another major issue was people management. 7-Eleven had about 70,000 employees worldwide. The company created training and create a certification program to improve the employees and store operation. So, however, employee turnover was still more than 100%, and franchise were also a challenge because they did not always use the new system in the same way as the corporate stores. And Jim Case also wanted to make diversity and employees development improve parts of the company. In 2002, 7-Eleven created the Education is a Freedom Foundation to help employees and their children with higher education. So Jim Case also wanted 7-Eleven to become a learning organization where employees and managers continue learning and improving. 7-Eleven was also trying to expand. In the US, the company planned to open new store and close the store that were not profitable, and the company also looked at the international market such as South America, Beijing, China, and Japan was the one of biggest international success, with more than 10,000 stores. However, the company still didn't know if the Japanese business model could work in every country. The financial results showed that the transformation was having positive results. In 2003, 7-Eleven had total sales is 10,000.8 billion dollar and net earnings is in $64 million. Its global store count increased from 20 20 20 22,648 stores in 2001 and increased to 25,760 1999 store in 2003. And yeah, for me overall the case show how Jim Case tried to transform 7-Eleven through technology, data, supply changes, and new products, employees development, and expansion. And the company achieved positive result, but the transformation was not finished. 7-Eleven still had important challenge or problem with the suppliers, franchise, employees, and international expansion. So yeah, for this case, I think the discipline and communication it's so mm, important things because in this case s- there there's still many many franchise or employees that or stores that not didn't do the new system in the same way. So the biggest challenge of 7-Eleven is how can Jim Case can change the employees and the head office to do the new system in the same way and um, and how can Jim Case make the 7-Eleven product into into familiar or um, into a big product or can be or can be look or can yeah and how can Jim Case change again with the supply chain system or CDC because there is still suppliers or largest suppliers that not comfort with the new with the new system. So yeah, I think the new system or CDC it can be more heavy for the supplier because they had their own system the for the how to supply the franchise or stores and yeah, I think just that. So for me, yeah, the case communication and the same perception because when the perceptions is different, yeah, it's so difficult for us to walk in the same way. So yeah, I think just that. Thank you.